What's up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video. Today we're talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons. No, we're not talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons. We're actually talking about the Animal Crossing movie, um, which came out, I think, in 2004. It was like a long time ago. Maybe later than that. Maybe like 2006 or something. Actually, let's take a look. Does it say on the movie? Nope, it doesn't. Great. Alright, anyway, so it came out, like, I think around the time of City Folk. I haven't played any of the other Animal Crossing games, really. I played, like, a little bit of the first one, but I never really got that into it. I thought the coolest part about that one was the NES games that you could get. But New Horizons was my jam. It got me through some really tough times, in 2020 there. You know, it was just a really comforting game to go back to um, once a day and just chill out and talk to all my animals, villagers and stuff, and collect things and do all of that stuff. And in a sense, that's kind of what the movie is about. You know, it's about a few things, but one of the main themes about the movie is uh, like finding your cherry pie is what they call it, um, which essentially is just like finding your purpose, right? So like one of the first days, so it's about this girl who moves to the village, Animal Village as they call it, but basically an Animal Crossing town. Um, and you know she has to go through all this like typical Animal Crossing stuff. You know, you go meet Tom Nook. He sets you up with the job. She like goes out and delivers packages for him and stuff. There's like the mayor's office, which isn't like in New Horizons. I mean, like Tom Nook is basically the one running the New Horizons thing. So, anyway, um, so yeah, anyway, so she moves to this village. Like one of the first days, she meets this elephant who kind of looks like Tia, who's one of my villagers. Was one of my villagers, I guess I should say. It's been like 2 or 3 years since, well, 2 years, I guess it would be, since I played Animal Crossing. I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't even know if I played much in 2021. It's probably been 3 years since I played Animal Crossing. Because I didn't even really get to experience much of like the winter events or any of that. I think I did do a little bit of that, but yeah, it's literally been since 2020 since I played it. I played it for a few months, like everyone else, and then I kind of gave up on it. Um, but it released like early in 2020, so I did play it for a significant portion of the year. I think I got to like right before Halloween or something, so like, I don't know. Anyway, it was a great game. Point being, I know some things about Animal Crossing. I was obsessed with it for the better part of 2020 there. Or the worst part of 2020, the whole year. But yeah, I was pretty obsessed with it. And, you know, I get nostalgic for it every now and again, like thinking about it, wanting to go back, but I just know my village is already so fucked and overrun with plants and shit. I just couldn't. I don't want to invest the time either. I don't really have the time to invest. That was the main thing about the game, is it's a time investment. You don't really have to do that, but you also, if you want to do the best stuff or get the best stuff, it's kind of like you have to. So, yeah. Anyway, um, but it, you know, it's great. So the movie, I keep getting away from that. So there's this girl named Ai. She moves to this animal village or whatever. One of the first things that she has to do is go deliver these packages. She meets this Margie, who's like an elephant, you know, kind of like Tia, like I was talking about. That's why I got on that sidetrack there. Um, and they become like best friends. And then like one of the first things is the little girl sees like cherries, and she's like, "Oh, I love cherries." And then Margie's talking about how she like you know, what if we made cherry pie and all of this stuff and blah blah blah. And then they start relating this metaphorically to like following your dreams, you know, like instead of just taking a slice of the pie, you gotta eat the whole pie, and that's like, you know, going and getting your full dreams, being your best self or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. So throughout the movie, that's like a big theme. Um, and these two characters, and the rest of the characters, of course, too, but like especially these two characters, Margie and Iver, um, are definitely like an emotional core to the movie because like midway through, spoilers for the Animal Crossing movie, by the way. Also, it's dubbed, but the dub is like unofficial. It was like just some fans made the dub, but it's actually a pretty good dub for what it is. Um, better than some shit, like better than like what 4Kids did and stuff, you know, back in the day. Anyway, you know, and that's the other thing. It kind of feels like a kids movie in a lot of ways, but it still does have a lot going on. If you like Animal Crossing, you'll definitely get a lot of the references to Animal Crossing. Even if you don't know like the specific characters that are on the island and stuff, you'll probably know a couple of them because a couple of them are like characters from the game that you can't really avoid. So, anyways, so midway through the movie, like halfway, um, the movie actually takes place over the course of a year too, so you get to see the seasons change and whatnot. Um, but like right before fall, there, Margie like moves away to go and start her fashion career and like design dresses and stuff. And she doesn't tell I until like a little bit later. She like sends her a letter in the mail or whatever, and she apologizes for not telling her, but she told everyone else. And um, but like I has this moment there in the middle of the movie where it's like she's really sad that her friend moved away, and like um, I mean, not only can I relate to that on a personal level, but like in the game, like your friends, I don't think they can just move away in New Horizons, but in the older games, I think they could do that. So that's understandable. But anyway, I definitely got those vibes whenever like my first villager wanted to move away. I later figured out that it's just like a mechanic of the game. They just do that after a certain amount of time or whatever. And you can say no or whatever, um, but I definitely related to that sadness. You know, it's just a really good moment. Um, but then I like when she gets the water, she's like is resolved to find her purpose and do better and whatnot. And she keeps finding these like letters in these bottles that say like she needs to plant all these trees so this UFO can like come during the winter um, event or whatever, the festival. So by the end of the movie, she actually does end up doing that. And Gulliver, the guy who like washes up on the beach or whatever in New Horizons, actually comes down in like a UFO. But then they actually attract like a real UFO. So that's pretty cool. Um, and to me, I like the whole game or the whole movie represents like aspects of the game. So like I is the character who just wants to hang out with their friends and go and interact with people and stuff. But there's this other kid, you, who their names are I and you. God damn it. Anyway, um, there's this other character, you, who is this little kid, and he's always got like all the most ridiculous outfits on. Like he'll have like a bunny suit and like, you know, shit you would actually wear in the game. He was like a ninja at the beginning of the movie, that kind of stuff. Like so much so that they don't even really see his true face until like the end of the game there. I mean the end of the movie. But anyway, this kid is like the one that would play Animal Crossing in like the goofiest way and goes and gets all the gear, and he's the one tracking down all the bugs and all of that stuff. Like I wants nothing to do with all the bugs and stuff, but he like also is obsessed with finding all the fossils for the museum. You know, all mechanics from the game, but it's interesting and cool to see that portrayed in a movie, how you translate that thrill of adventure to the real game there. Um, I mean to the movie there. So, and like kind of hit one of his storylines or arcs or whatever. I mean, he's just a side character, but is they find at the like near, I don't know, like kind of like a fourth of the way into the movie, maybe they find this cave with the final dinosaur bones that they haven't that for the museum because they have all the other ones on display there, but like they don't have this one, and they finally find it in this cave, and it's like they're all mystified by it. They're all like, "Wow, this is really cool," but they can't really get it out of there because it's like gigantic, and they don't want to like take it apart and get it out of there. Um, you see in the post, well, during the credits, that they actually do get it out of there and put it in the museum, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot of nice little resolutions like that that you get to see at the end of the movie, which is nice. All the characters kind of have their own little thing or whatever. Um, there's a lot of like side characters that don't really matter, but a couple of the notable ones are like Alfonso, the alligator guy, is like best friends with you there. I know my friend Mayab had Alfonso in his Animal Crossing village or his island or whatever. So that was always fun to see him there. None of my villagers really made it in there, but that's, they all had kind of counterparts to some of my villagers. Like, I have Sky, who's like a wolf, but they have a different wolf, Whitney, who's like this fashionista type, very proper lady. I was trying to think of what the name was for that, of the like personality type in the game, but it's just not coming to me. Because there's like jocks, and then there's like the sassy ones, and there's like Apollo is another character in this movie who's like the grumpy archetype or whatever that is, um, so, and he's kind of grumpy the whole movie. I think it's because like because Apollo's like mad about the like at the beginning of the movie, she accidentally tramples on his blue flowers or whatever, which is like a pretty rare flower in the game if I remember right. So and she thinks that's like the rift between them the whole time, and at the end of the movie he's like, "Oh, you're still worried about that? Like, my bad, I'm sorry." Like, he's just kind of a loner. He's kind of a sullen person. He doesn't really speak up a lot, and that's kind of what it came down to, rather than like he's an asshole, or something. He's not, and he wasn't mad about that. I mean, he's probably mad about it at first, but he got over it, through the seasons or whatever. So it's a nice little resolution there at the end. Um, but yeah, there's a couple other characters and stuff, but they don't really. I don't know. They do a whole lot. There's like Rosie the cat, like she's another one of like Ai's closer friends or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, like, it just emulates a lot of aspects of the game, like the exploration and like building your town and um, meeting all these characters and whatnot and interacting with them and just doing, slice of life stuff with them every day, and it emulates that chill vibe of Animal Crossing there. It has a lot of the music from the game as well. Notably KK Bossa, which is kind of the first time KK Slider comes to town there. That's what Margie wants him to play because that's like her favorite KK Slider song. It's a great one. It's a good KK Slider song. One of my favorites too. KK Slider being this guy here. Um, but yeah, so it ends up being kind of this emotional song about their friendship, and then when she leaves, I hears this like um, in the cafe there, and she starts crying because it's like her friend left and she didn't even say anything and whatever. Um, so it's kind of this emotional beat of the movie, this song, and it is kind of an emotional song. It's really well done, It's a great song. So stuff like that, and then they just have like background songs from the game and stuff. Um, but yeah, like the other thing is, like, it's an adaptation of a video game, which we didn't really get a lot of great ones of those, I mean, especially back in, like, 2006, I don't think we had, like, any really accurate game to adaptation movies. So for something like that, and especially as a video game movie, I think that it really captures the vibe of the game, which is, like I said, isn't something that really has happened, like, in general, honestly. I mean, outside of, like, maybe the Mario Brothers movie and, like, some of the Sonic ones, even those are, like, pretty divorced from the game. Like, um it's hard to think of an example outside of, like, fan movies and stuff that, like, really capture the vibe of the game, So for something like that, it was actually pretty impressive, and especially for its time. And of course, it only came out in Japan, though. They never, like, made an official dub for it, which is strange to me. I guess Animal Crossing wasn't as popular back then, so... But I'm glad fans went and dubbed it, because it definitely deserved to be seen in an English sense. And, you got subtitles and whatnot, but I always prefer a decent dub to subtitles if I can help it. Like, I know that's kind of sacrilegious in the, like, anime and cartoon world and whatnot. Like, you always want to watch it in the native language or whatever, but to me, my native language is what sounds the best, And I don't mind watching shows in, like, Japanese and stuff. It's just, it doesn't hit the same, I mean, God, with anime, it kind of is like I do sort of want to watch it subbed, because a lot of those, they really screw up the dubs on, or they just sound really unnatural. But I'm a back and forth, It, like, Miraculous Ladybug is a show that I always watch dubbed if I can. Obviously, there's episodes that they don't, like, they haven't dubbed yet, so I go and watch the subs when I absolutely, like, have to. Like, I'll watch it either way, but I always prefer the dub just because it's easier to listen to, and they actually have, like, good voice acting on that dub, stuff like that. Or, like, Pokemon or something. Like, I grew up with the dub, so that is definitely not a show I could watch in Japanese. Like, that would wreck me. Anyway, I'm getting really off topic. So the Animal Crossing movie is really good. It has an emotional core to it. It has, like, this kids movie vibe, but it's also, like, it's also just a good movie, for fans of Animal Crossing. If you don't really know Animal Crossing, I don't know if it would be as good, but I did show it to, like, my friend Jameson, who'd only seen, like, a little bit of Animal Crossing. Only knew, like, some stuff about Animal Crossing. Never really played Animal Crossing himself. Sorry, my foot is, like, really itchy. And he liked it. He thought it was good, and it resonated with him and whatnot. So I don't know. Like, I would say it's a good movie. Give it a shot for sure. And especially if you're a fan of Animal Crossing, which statistically you probably are, because most Switch owners own Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think it's the best-selling game on the Switch, or was a couple of years ago anyway. I think it's Mario Kart 8 now. But yeah, like, big deal, big news stuff, like, the Animal Crossing movie is actually fucking good. Like, like I said, there's not a lot of great video game movies out of there, but this is certainly one of them, and that's good to me. Like, it shows that you can just do... It's actually what the Mario movie did, like, but, like, fucking forever ago, like 2006 or whatever. It shows that you can just make a movie based on your video game, and it doesn't matter if it's, like, really, like, an adaptation to be more realistic or whatever. You can just make a straight adaptation of your thing, and it can work. Very similar to Mario. I mean, it basically is just kind of an adaptation of the Mario Brothers, you know, into a movie. It's not trying to be super realistic or anything. It just goes in, it has fun, it does what it does, and it gets out, you know, and it's perfect. It's that's what we're looking for. You know, like Resident Evil or something. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like the games, but it's its own thing too, you know? It's like shit like that. Or like Silent Hill is a good example of like one where it's more like the games, but it's also realistic in some ways. That's a good blend of the two, but I think especially with a sort of cartoony game like Animal Crossing, the idea of just making like an anime movie was a great idea. And I'm glad they did that and they did like a straight adaptation. Uh, Gave it a little bit of a narrative, an emotional gut punch and stuff like that. And they got all the aspects in there. I thought that was great. You know, that's really awesome that they could do that. So, um, yeah, like in terms of movies, like video game movies, it's definitely like pretty top tier. So I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10, uh, on that front. For just being a really good adaptation of Animal Crossing. And especially if you're a fan of Animal Crossing, it's definitely worth watching, you know? I don't remember what website it is, but I'm sure if you just type in like Animal Crossing movie dub, you'll get the same site that I had. You can watch it online. It's like in 2 parts for some reason, but it's only like an hour and a half long, so points for brevity, you know? It's like, it's a pretty good movie, so I highly recommend it. So until next time, stick around for more reviews, underrated movies, games, and everything else, and I'll see you in the next one. Jay-Z, out.